And good morning and welcome to Tyler, Texas. Final game of the three-game series between the Tyler Apaches and the Frank Phillips Plainsmen. Dr. John Groth here on the pregame show. The coaches are going over the lineups at home plate. Had a little technical difficulty getting on, but appreciate joining the broadcast. We heard from, actually had a chance to talk to the head coach from the Frank Phillips Plainsmen, and also we're here from Coach Rupenthal here in a minute. But first, it's going to be David Diaz, the second-year head coach. Let's hear what Coach Diaz had to say down in the Plainsman dugout just a few minutes ago about yesterday's doubleheader. All right, we got Coach Diaz down in the Plainsman dugout, and Coach, I thought there were some bright spots. First game's out. I thought Johnston gave you some really quality innings, and of course Garza, man, I thought he did well, and Zamora at the top of your line. There were some things to build on yesterday.
Yeah, no, they, some of the guys showed up, some of the guys didn't, but at the end of the day, I think we started the game off strong.
Yeah. Got off to good starts both ball games.
Yeah, the energy, we just started strong, and the energy in the second game just kind of faded. I think that's what kind of got us in game two right there.
Well, now, the interesting thing about baseball, and this is what I love, you start from scratch, 0-0, but it is a grind.
Yep.
And so, that first game out, a lot of energy, you've worked all off season to this time, and now it's time to kind of stick your nose in there and get dirty every day. Talk about that grind.
Well, it's JUCO baseball.
56 games.
Yeah, 56 games. We're about to turn around right now and make a 7-hour trip back after this game, and turn around, do it all over again on Tuesday.
Right.
So we'll have the day off tomorrow, take a rest. Come practice on Monday, back at it on Tuesday, and then we're off for 10 days. JUCO baseball is just unpredictable. Weather, travel. The collection of just everything, and these guys are, they're learning how to handle it with their bodies.
Right.
I preach a lot about taking care of your body, stuff like that, because it is a grind, and I think the grind is more physically than it is mentally, on these guys right here so young.
Talk about that grind from you now as a head coach. I know as a player you got a lot to draw from to share with these guys. Mm-hmm. What's it like as a coach in that grind?
It's a completely different thing.
It is.
Jumping from playing to coaching, I've learned how to try to, stay composed, and it is a grind in the sense of, planning and driving, we're the bus drivers, and booking hotels, make sure the guys are fed, making sure everyone's healthy, making sure all the lineups are set up and things like that. So as a coach, it's more of a mental grind.
Yeah, exactly.
Teaching these guys how to be physical, and have that grind as a player, and then hold my own, mental grind.
Right.
It's a balance in itself.
Well, there's times where us as coach, we need days off, right?
Yeah.
To recognize that. So, anyways, you have such some great life experiences. I'm really excited for your coaching career. You've got so much to offer these young men. Thanks for investing in them, because what I love about coaching baseball is that these guys are learning about the grind that life will be when baseball's over, when the glove is on the shelf and they're done. And so thanks for what you're doing for these guys. I'm excited for Plainsman baseball because you're at the helm, and hope the season goes well. We probably won't cross paths too much this year, but hope you have a great season this year. And let's talk as we finish this up about your starting pitcher today.
Okay, Brian Marrero, love the kid, man. He's got a great story behind him as well. I found Brian late July, right before, this upcoming season, and he was probably an 81, 82 mile-an-hour arm, with a plus secondary pitch, and I said, I'll take a chance on that kid.
Right.
He's got a good arm whip, arm slot, things like that, and his work ethic since he's showed up into Texas has been second to none. Just absolutely worked hard for everything he's gotten. Withheld a 4.0 last year.
Wow.
In the classroom, and then early this fall, he signed a Division I contract with
Awesome.
Bethune-Cookman, and he's been upper 80s, with hard sink and a good slider, and it's just 100% a good old JUCO success story.
And those are the things that keep you going.
Yeah.
So I hope you have a lot of those in your future. Thanks for taking time. Hope today goes well.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Coach Diaz down in the Plainsman dugout. Appreciate him taking a few minutes of his time. We're actually getting ready to play baseball here at Mike Carter Field. Dr. John Groth with you as the Apaches and the Plainsmen get set to play Game 3 of a 3-game series. Doubleheader yesterday. The Apaches were able to come on top on both accounts, 8-7 in a walk-off win in Game 1 and then 11-4 in the nightcap last night. So it's a new day. The sun is trying to poke through this mist and clouds here as we start this one. And we'll give you the lineups here in just a moment. For the visitors, the Frank Phillips Plainsmen, they are 0-2 on the season. They're led by second-year head coach David Diaz. Leading off is the left fielder Mark Zamora. Batting second, center fielder Christian Mendez. Batting third, Ricardo Leonette, the catcher. First baseman Harold Calero is batting cleanup. Third baseman David Calderon bats fifth. DH Vaughn Shields bats sixth. Tommy Tolve, the second baseman, bats seventh. Edgar Hernandez bats eighth. And Preston Lonadier bats in the 9th spot. On the mound is Brian Marrero for the Plainsmen. We'll go through the defensive alignment for the Apaches after this first pitch. We're pretty close. We were a little late getting started with some of the pregame festivities, but 12 noon, high noon, we are right on time, so they made up a little bit of that time. Had some extra things going on in the field this morning, but we are underway. First pitch was fouled off. It's 0-1 to Mark Zamora. Cooper Rawls is on the mound. Second pitch, well hit to second. This is Jaron Burks at second, and he'll field it for the first out of the ball game. Defensively for the Apaches, Eric Owen out in left, Jacob Johnson in center, Fiver Trimble patrols right field. Around the infield, Ty Meisner at third, Bryce Coveney at short, Jaron Burks at second, Michael Morissette at first, Cade Watson behind the plate. On the mound, the right-handed freshman from Hallsville, Texas, 6'1" and 195, Cooper Rawls. Rawls gets the nod here as the starting pitcher in Game 3 of the series. First pitch missed to Christian Mendez. It's 1-0. He fouls the next offering back. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Plainsmen wearing the gray uniforms with the navy blue and white trim, kind of a Houston Astro look to it. Got the blue and white stripes down the side, and looks like they got a little blue on the pockets. Wearing the white panel with the navy blue backing on the ball cap. Apache's wearing their black uniform tops with the white pants. They also have the stripes down the side. Black stirrups and the black ball caps. 2-1 pitch laced in the left field. Base hit. There goes the no-hitter. So Mendez, line drive base hit, is our first base runner of the day. 1B7 if you're scoring at the house. Stepping in now is Ricardo Leonette. And Leonette's going to catch all 3 games in the series. He caught the doubleheader yesterday, and he's back in the 3-hole. He had a nice day yesterday at the plate. 3 RBIs in 2 ball games, a home run, and a single. A couple of base hits to go with 3 RBIs. So he's going to anchor down that lineup in the 3 spot once again. First pitch is in there, strike 1 from Cooper Rawls. Here's the 0-1. Outside corner, 0-2. Frank Phillips is from Borger, Texas, 475 miles north and west of Tyler. That's a 7.5-hour trip. These guys after the ball game today. Ground ball to short, could be 2. 6, 4, and 3. The stretch by Morissette. He holds on for the double play. Nicely done. Coveney to Burks to Morissette, and the Apaches are out of the inning. Nicely done by Cooper Rawls to get that ground ball. It's a scoreless first for the Plainsmen. The Apaches will get their first look at Brian Marrero. When we return, you're watching Apache Baseball on ApacheAthletics.com. All right, we'll bring you back early as we get this one rolling, just a little bit behind schedule here. And we're actually going to play the interview from Coach Rupenthal here momentarily, and we'll just let that run over the action. But leading off for the Apaches, here's their batting lineup. Eric Owen will be the leadoff hitter. By the way, Seth Ballinger re-injured that leg and probably will not play today. Talked to the training staff, and he's going to be okay, just going to have to take today off. So Owen up in the leadoff spot here in today's ball game. He'll be the left fielder. Batting second, the third baseman, Ty Meisner. Batting in the 3 position, center fielder Jacob Johnson. Batting fourth, the right fielder, Fiver Trimble. Batting fifth, first baseman Michael Morissette. The designated hitter is Jason Ballou. He'll bat sixth. Catching for the Apaches, Cade Watson. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Bryce Coveney. And in the 9 spot, second baseman Jaron Burks. Defensively for the Frank Phillips Plainsmen, out in left field is Mark Zamora. Christian Mendez will patrol center field. Preston Lonadier is in right. Around the infield, David Calderon gets the nod at third here in this third game of the series. Edgar Hernandez back at shortstop. Tommy Toll back at second. Harold Calero at first. Ricardo Leonette back behind the dish. And on the mound is a right-handed sophomore from Corozal, Puerto Rico, Brian Marrero. Marrero, the right-hander, gets the nod for Coach Diaz and the Plainsmen. I did get a chance to catch up with Coach Rupenthal about yesterday's doubleheader. Let's hear what he's had to say a few minutes ago outside the Apache locker room. All right, we got Coach Diaz down the Plainsman dugout. And sorry about that. All right, we got Coach Rupenthal outside the Apache locker room, and boy, 6-0, nice start. Talk about yesterday's doubleheader and looking back at the first 4 and those 2 yesterday. What did you see from your pitchers?
Yeah, I thought we pitched it okay. Still striking some guys out, and the defense kind of let us down a little bit, but we were able to kind of push through that. And Jacob Blatney just kind of gutted it out
right.
for a few innings there, and kind of just gave us a chance to win that game, even though he had some serious adversity. And
right. Well, there was a moment yesterday where he just kind of, I don't know. I could see it. You could see it in the mound. There was just something inside him just kind of got going.
Yeah, you could kind of see him reach down, and I actually went out there. And talked to him, and just said, hey, we can't control what the defense is doing behind you. So all I said to him was, I'm going to try to get the signs in a little bit quicker and just try to get you moving a little bit faster, kind of pick up the tempo, and hopefully keep the defense on their toes a little bit more.
Well, to me, that's one of the beauties of this game is that you get an opportunity like that with young men, and you know what? Life's going to throw them some things where it's out of their hands. They're doing everything they can, and something out of their control makes their life more adverse, and so it's a laboratory for life. That's one of the reasons I love this game so much and actually being a leader in this game. So talk about today's game, who's going to get the ball, and maybe a little bit about who's left in that bullpen.
Yeah, we'll have Cooper Rawls going today. He pitched the second game last weekend, but we wanted to keep him on the same schedule with the games getting moved up, so we moved Blatney to Friday, and we left Cooper on Saturday. He was good his last time out. I think 1 earned, 6 strikeouts, 5 innings, and he did a really good job. And I think he's just going to go out there and compete and pretty much give us the chance to win every time he goes out there. As far as the bullpen, I think we still have quite a bit left. There were some pretty big pieces that we didn't use, and then kind of some of the back end guys we'll have for another inning today because they didn't really get extended too much. Really, it would just be McNamara and Lee that are totally down for today.
Well, let's talk about those guys. They really gave you some good innings yesterday. Talk about their contributions to that doubleheader sweep. Yeah,
McNamara kind of was pitching through a little bit of knee pain and just kind of gutted it out again and kind of got it done when we needed to. I thought his stuff was really good. He got some big outs for us and kind of helped turn the tide of that game.
Right.
Lee, I thought he was just a really good matchup for them because they were kind of just hunting fastballs, especially early that
really
first
aggressive.
game. Yeah, they were every fastball count. They were just kind of ambushing it and
a lot of first ball swings for sure.
Yeah. I mean, they were swinging the first pitch and having just kind of a different look from him and kind of throwing that slider in there too. And that whole lineup was righties. So for a sidearm guy, that's kind of the ideal situation. Right. So.
Well, 6-0. That means everyone in the stat sheet's undefeated so far.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats on the great start. Mike, thanks for taking a few minutes. Hope today goes well for you guys.
Thank you.
Big thank you to Coach Rupenthal on giving me a few minutes of his time as Brian Marrero works through the first two hitters, struck out Eric Owen, and just got Ty Meisner to hit a little dribbler to first base in which Calero handled easily. So there's 2 up and 2 down here in the first inning. Here's the 3 spot, and Jacob Johnson. And Johnson 0 for 4, his first collar of the year, as he has started out hot as a pistol. And that last game, despite the fact that he didn't have any hits, the Apache's able to put up 11 runs on the board. So that speaks well to the whole lineup. You don't ever want to depend on one guy. But Jacob has gotten off to a great start. Brian Marrero has worked ahead of both of the first 2 hitters. Misses that first pitch, steps behind the mound, and it's a 1-0 count on center fielder Jacob Johnson. 2 out, nobody aboard. We're in the bottom of the first of a scoreless tie. Little chopper foul at home plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Glad you're with us. If you want to shoot a quick note on the live chat feature, we'll give you a shout out on the broadcast. A little scramble getting on the air. Had a little techno issues. 1-1 pitch. Looked like a changeup. Johnson out in front. 1-2. 2 outs, nobody aboard. Both pitchers so far have faced the minimum. Mendez did get a base hit, but was erased with a 6-4-3 double play by the Apache infield. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3, slider outside corner. Johnson wanted time. Home plate umpire wouldn't grant it, as Marrero started into a windup and actually just hung on the mound before that front leg came up, disrupting the timing there a little bit for Johnson. It's a called 3rd strike, 2nd of the inning for Marrero, and we're still scoreless after 1. 0-0, back with the 2nd inning when we return on ApacheAthletics.com. All right. Well, for those Apache fans, let's give you a little bit of an update as to what our broadcast schedule is going to look like here for the next few weeks. And so, I'll actually, we'll go for the broadcast schedule now. Later on, we'll actually give you some information about what the Apache schedule looks like. We will not be doing very many away games this year. I have traveled to Eunice before. I've traveled to Beeville before. And at this point, doesn't look like, I'm not sure that's going to happen, but we'll have to keep an eye on that as we get later into the season. But the next broadcast after today is scheduled to be next Friday against Arkansas Baptist, 1 o'clock start, and a doubleheader on Saturday the 9th against Arkansas Baptist. So another 3-game set here at Mike Carter Field. And first pitch in there, strike 1. This is Harold Calero, the first baseman, batting cleanup. Cooper Rawls back on the mound. That's just his 10th pitch of the ball game. Both pitchers very efficient in their first inning of work. Rawls threw 9 in his first inning, and Marrero just 12. 1 ball, 1 strike to first baseman Harold Calero. The pitch off the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Nobody on, nobody out, top of inning number 2. Single 9-inning game today. That's just the way baseball was made to be played. The pitch. Ground ball, left side. This is Meisner on the big hop. Throws across. Easy out. 1 away. 5-3 if you're scoring at the house. Here's David Calderon. Calderon, the third baseman. For the Plainsmen. Plainsmen last year were 19-36 in David Diaz's first year as head coach. 14-22 in conference play. Steps in from the right side, right-on-right matchup as the big right-hander Cooper Rawls delivers. In there, strike one. Next pitch fouled off to the right side. That's going to get over the netting into the bleachers. And it's 0-2. Last week, Rawls did get credit for the win in the game he started. He is 1-0 with a 1.80 ERA. 5 innings pitched last week, 6 strikeouts, just 1 walk. Opposing batters hitting a paltry .063 off the freshman from Hallsville. 1 ball, 2 strikes. On for third baseman David Calderon. The pitch in the dirt. Watson scoops it up. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. One out, nobody aboard. Popped it up, and Watson's going to chase it back here, and I think, bang, it's going to hit right on top of the press box. Count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're at Mike Carter Field, just inside the West Loop in Tyler, Texas. We're on the Rose City Complex, adjacent to the Tyler Rose Garden, Harvey Convention Center, and Rose Football Stadium to our right. Strike 3 called, and there's your first strikeout for Cooper Rawls. 2 up, 2 down here in the second. Still no score. Here's Vaughn Shields, the designated hitter. We saw Shields in the lineup for the Plainsmen as the first baseman in the opener. That was an 8-7 walk-off win for the Apaches in a 7-inning ball game, and then 11-4 win for the Apaches in the nightcap. Both of the games yesterday, the Plainsmen jumped out ahead early in the ball game. Apaches were able to come all the way back after being down 7-4 in the opener. And they were down 4-0 in the nightcap before putting up 11, extending their winning streak to 6. 0-2, just misses off the outside part of the plate. I don't know. Shields was kind of asking Mr. Umpire how close that was. I thought it was closer than he gave it credit for. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball left side in the hole. Tough play. And Coveney makes the throw. It gets away. So, tell you what, I'm gonna call that a hit and an error. I thought he was going to beat it out anyway. So, I don't know how we want to view that. I don't know if he would have been. The question of the day on that one is if he had caught. Yeah, that's got to be a throwing error. So that's E6. Yeah, I thought if he picked it, he'd been out. And so it's going to be an error on shortstop Bryce Coveney. So now you got a runner at second with 2 outs. And here's Tommy Tolve, the second baseman. Tolve had been in the 2-hole the first 2 ball games. Coach Diaz got him down in the 7 spot. First pitch in there, strike 1. Cooper Rawls, his second start of the season. He's working ahead. Both these pitchers doing a nice job of pounding the strike zone and working the count to their favor. Now, if you're an Apache infielder here, you got to keep the ball on the dirt, if you will. No dirt on this field, it's turf. But we do have a line marking the edge of that infield, and got to leave your feet here on your bellies. Keep that run from scoring. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Tommy Tolve asked for time. Steps out of the box. We're at the 7 spot in the Plainsman lineup. Plainsmen looking for their first victory of the 2019 season. Here's the 1-2. Tapper right up the middle. This is Burks. Tough play on the run. He does make it for the final out. Nicely done by Jaron Burks. And the Apaches avoid giving up a 2-out run We're still scoreless at Mike Carter Field. Glad you're with us. Love to hear from you on the live chat. I'll have to check that. Looks like there's one up there. As we'll head to the bottom of inning number 2, and we're still scoreless at 0-0. Back in a minute. And welcome back to Mike Carter Field. Dr. John Groth on the play-by-play with you. Temperature's a little warmer, but boy, we got some humidity that's keeping a little bit of a chill in the air. Started the game at 57 degrees, southeast breeze at 7. There goes Timmy Hunter, the third base coach, and I like to see the hop in his step, jogging down the first third base coach's box. Tyler Abney at first. Both of them got the three-quarter sleeves with the short sleeve pullover on today. And we'll get those guys on pregame interviews one of these days. We've had Yanira Mole check in on the live chat, rooting for David. I think that's David Calderon, if I remember correctly. I think may have checked in last night. Let us know who you're rooting for and where you're watching from. Love to hear. Had folks from all over the place watching yesterday. Had Coach Balicki up in Buffalo, New York, watching us. Appreciate his note to me. 2 balls and no strikes. This is Fiver Trimble in the cleanup spot for the Apaches. Fiver, a little rough go of it in the nightcap. 0 for 4. 3 strikeouts. 2-0 pitch. Outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Fiver, however, did have 4 RBIs in the opener. 3-run homer in inning number 1 and an RBI ground out. Big part of that first game win yesterday. Started out, I think we noted yesterday, in the first 5 games, Fiver had 10 RBI. Two balls and 2 strikes. That misses high. With that kind of pace, that's an over 100 RBI season. Not sure he can continue that, but certainly has started out very productive. Next pitch, good breaking pitch, and he froze him. And that's 3 of 4 batters that Marrero has struck out. With 1 out, here's Mike Morissette for the first time. And boy, it was kind of nice to see him get a couple of base hits in the nightcap yesterday. He was 3 for 4 with a walk. Reached base 4 of the 5 at-bats. First pitch is off the plate, ball 1. We're set in the 5 spot. As people continue to trickle out to the ballpark. In on the hands and get away from the Avalon. Okay. A little bit off to the left, so that was headed. These lefties, boy, they hit those little pop-ups. The Avalon's under a tree with no leaves. Come on, spring. We need those leaves to come out and give my car a little protection. 1-1 is the count with 1 out, nobody aboard. Still scoreless here in the bottom of the second, just off the plate. Marrero kind of snickers, thought it was a strike. Still has not given up a hit. He's faced 4 and retired 4. It's off the plate. Now it's 3-1, so So far, Marrero has worked ahead of the Apache hitters he's faced, but falls behind first baseman Mike Morissette in this spot. 3-1. The pitch. He likes to throw that slider in fastball counts, and it's 3-2. And there's that delayed delivery that he did to Johnson. Fastball, strike 3. And 4 strikeouts after 5 at bats. Marrero really doing a nice job for the Plainsmen of shutting this Apache offense down first time through. Here is the DH, Jason Ballou. And Jason has a nice start to his season. What a game he had in the nightcap. 3 for 4, 4 RBIs, a single, a double, and a homer. He was a triple away from the cycle in the nightcap. Breaking pitch, called a strike. And boy, it's slider, 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 mix in a fastball. Kind of working backwards a little bit here. 0-1 pitch. There's that fastball. Ballou takes a healthy rip at it. Fouls it off. Headed over toward the Christus Trinity Mother Francis football stadium to our right. First base side. Nate Carter Field. Built in 1938. Boy, he's developing a pattern here with 2 strikes. He likes to totally change the cadence of his delivery. He'll take the rocker step behind the rubber, and then he'll pause, and he'll actually have that plant foot travel on the rubber if you watch that, and kind of disrupts the timing. These Apache hitters seem frozen with 2 strikes. It goes back to the normal delivery there. Breaking pitch, and they're going to check on the swing, and that's Ricardo Leonette pointing to first base umpire, and that'll be the decision of the home plate umpire. He was hoping that they would check the check swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jason Ballou trying to break up the no-hitter. Trying to break up the perfect game. 1-2 pitch. Ball in the dirt. And that's one of the things that we haven't seen much of out of Marrero is balls in the dirt or wild pitches. Boy, that catcher, Leonette, worked his tail off yesterday behind the plate, blocking balls through 16 innings of baseball. 2-2 is the count, the pitch. And, boy, another good slider. And Marrero just struck out the side. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across for the Apaches. We'll head to inning number 3. Good pitchers duel going on. We're still scoreless. 8, 9, and 1 for the Plainsmen. In a scoreless tie, we head quickly to the third inning. And this is Cooper Rawls back on the mound. First pitch swing and ground ball to Meisner at third. Scoops it up, throws to Morissette, 1 out. Boy, what a difference in the pace of play here. Last night it was like pulling teeth. Just painstakingly slow. In today's game, get on the rubber, throw strikes, swing the bat. 1 out. Here's the 9-hitter, Preston Lonadier. First pitch swing, and again, a little looper into center field, and a nice grab by center fielder Jacob Johnson. Boy, there's a web gem for you. Nicely done by the center fielder. And there's 2 away. 2 up, 2 down on 2 pitches. Cooper Rawls started the inning with 27 pitches through 2 innings. And back to the top we go, Mark Zamora. First pitch is high and inside, ball 1. Well, Rawls has only faced 1 over the minimum, a base hit by Christian Mendez to left field. Both pitchers pumping the zone. 1-0 pitch off the plate, 2-0. Shoot, as I say that, Rawls falls behind 2-0. Got zeros on the board, except for 1 hit for Frank Phillips. There's a routine grounder to Jaron Burks, and that'll be it. And if my count is right, that's a 4-pitch inning. 31 total for Cooper Rawls. We head to the bottom half of inning number 3. Still scoreless. Stay with us. Back in a minute on ApacheAthletics.com. Welcome back to Mike Carter Field. Dr. John Groth with you here. Bottom of the third in a scoreless tie. 7, 8, and 9. Cade Watson, Bryce Coveney, Jaron Burks scheduled to hit for the Apaches. So far, the story is the pitchers. Cooper Rawls and Brian Marrero done a stellar job for both clubs. Swing and a miss. Marrero still has a perfect game. He's faced 6 and retired 6, striking out 5 of those 6. 0-1. Reaches out and pops it out of play over the netting into the bleachers. Look out, Brooks and Baker there. Got, I think that's Amelia down there with Brooks. stroller. Had a few of those out here over the years. No balls, 2 strikes. Cade Watson catching and batting in the 7 position for the Apaches here in the 3rd game of the 3-game series. And there's that delay with 2 strikes. Seen that number of times now from Brian Marrero. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody on and nobody out. The pitch. Base hit up the middle. There goes the perfect game. There goes the no-hitter. And the Apaches with their first base runner here in the 3rd inning. Good piece of hitting by catcher Cade Watson. Here's Bryce Coveney. And, boy, you might seriously think about laying a bunt down here. And this ball game is so far very little offense. The humidity today is at 91%. We had some fog this morning. Game time temperature was 57. We'll probably supposed to get into the low 60s today and the upper 60s tomorrow. Got a 20% chance of rain today. That will extend into tonight. And tomorrow, 50% chance of some very light showers. We're supposed to have 75 on Monday. So it's going to be a warming trend here in East Texas, but then by the time we play ball back here at Mike Carter, we have another cold front coming through, and I think the high next Friday right now is in the 50s. So going to cool down again when we get out here to play some baseball, but between now and then we got some warm temperatures headed our way. No balls and 1 strike to Bryce Coveney. He's going to square around, lay down the bunt, and Marrero makes the play, and the sacrifice is achieved. That'll go 1-3. Nice bunt by Bryce Coveney to move Watson to second with 1 out. First Apache in scoring position in this ball game. The Plainsmen have had 1 runner in scoring position as well, so stepping in for the first time, second baseman Jaron Burks. And Jaron did not play in yesterday's doubleheader. Well, yes, he did. Excuse me. He was he came in at the end of that ball game. Let's see. I guess I didn't write him in my sheet. I think he was in right toward the end of, yeah, he came in for Seth when Seth got injured. So it was right at the end of the ball game. I think he played like 1 inning yesterday. Ballinger with that injured leg, and as we noted earlier, it's going to have to take this day off. Pops it up infield, should not be trouble. This is Calderon at third, and he'll squeeze it, and there's 2 away. F5 if you're scoring at the house. And that'll bring up the leadoff hitter for the Apaches, Eric Owen. And he was the first strikeout victim. Brian Marrero. Marrero has struck out 5 Apaches through the first 2 2/3. Struck out 5 of the first batters he faced. But here's Eric Owen with a chance to give the Apaches the lead. They have not gotten out to the lead in either of the first 2 ball games, but they have come back to win both. 8-7 walk-off win in the first game yesterday, a 7-inning affair, and then 11-4 in the nightcap. That was a 9-inning game. And ball gets away. That's going to be a pass ball. Off the glove of the catcher, Ricardo Leonette. And now Watson 90 feet away. Both squads with just 1 base hit. The Apaches now with a base runner that has reached third. First time in the game. 1 ball, no strikes to Eric Owen. And it's going to allow Marrero now with a runner at third to go out of the windup. Next pitch is fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, I tell you, I always liked when you got a rabbit over there at third base in this situation. I don't know if this is with Cade Watson, but Marrero did not even look over there. And if you got somebody that can really go, when you got a pitcher going out of the windup that doesn't even glance over there, sure does open the door. And he's got a very slow, deliberate delivery. I used to like to think about stealing home here. You know, with 2 outs, probably not the most common of events in a ball game, but Marrero has a very slow, deliberate delivery, and if you start the hair before he starts rocking, boy, you got a chance. Here's the pass ball, and boy, a good hustle. Showing off the wheels. Cade Watson scampers home. That ball did not get very far away from Leonette, but Watson with a great jump, and it's 1-0 Apaches. Heads up base running there by the catcher, Cade Watson. I'm going to score that a pass ball again because I thought he should have caught it. Well, did it hit the ground before it got to him? Yeah, I thought it was another pass ball. So general rule there is if it hits the ground before it gets to the catcher, probably going to be a wild pitch. And obviously if it's out of the reach of the catcher, but both the balls that have gotten away from Leonette have gone off his glove first. So there's ball 4. So a little bit of control issues here for Marrero, who was very sharp for the first 2 innings. A 2-out walk to Owen. First walk of the ball game for Brian Marrero, the sophomore from Corozal, Puerto Rico. Here's Ty Meisner. Meisner grounded out to first base on a little squibber off the end of his bat. 0 for 1 in this game. So Watson gets the first hit of the game. Ends up getting to second base on the sac bunt, to third on a pass ball, and then scores on a pass ball. First pitch swing and fouls it off to the right side. And it's 0-1. 2 outs, 1 aboard for the Apaches. They have taken a lead 1-0 here in the bottom of inning number 3. Well, I see somebody down there in shorts. I don't know if it's shorts weather today. Got some other fans with the blankets on, so pretty wide variety of clothing at the ballpark. That humidity definitely makes 57 feel chillier than it is. Of course, we had some folks chiming in last night that was quite cold. We got a number of people checking in here. I got to catch up with my shout-outs. Jamie Stanford watching for Van, rooting for those Apaches. Appreciate her checking in, or him. Coach Walker rooting for the Plainsmen back in Amarillo. Fly ball, right field. Going back is Lanadier. Makes the catch for the final out. F9 if you're scoring at the house, but the Apaches scratch and claw for the first run of this ball game. It's now 1-0 Tyler as we head to the 4th inning. Well, we'll try to catch up on those shout-outs. Appreciate you typing out a few notes. If you're love to hear from where you're watching from, who you're rooting for. Coach Walker rooting for the Plainsmen back in Amarillo. And Jose Huertas rooting for Edgar, the shortstop. Patterson, New Jersey checking in again today. Dave Calderon rooting for the Plainsmen from New Jersey. Hope it's warmed up there in New Jersey. I know that they've had that cold weather move through the Midwest and on into the Northeast. So hope you're staying warm back in New Jersey. And Faith Warren checking in, rooting for Cade Watson. Cade Watson, boy, he can run better than you think. Sometimes as a coach you think the catchers can't move at all, but Cade did a really good job of reacting on that ball that got away from the catcher. Scoring the game's only run. It's 1-0 Apaches as we head to the 4th. Breaking pitch in there, strike 1. This is Christian Mendez, who got the only single for the Plainsmen. Both teams with just one hit through 3 innings. Breaking pitch. And right in the zone. 0-2. Strike 3 on the outside corner. And second strikeout of the ball game for Cooper Rawls as he starts to find a bit of a rhythm. Ricardo Leonette, the catcher, grounded into an inning-ending double play back in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. Leonette did take one out of here in the opener. 2-run shot to give the Plainsmen the lead back in the 7-inning ball game yesterday. Takes strike 1. Wind up the pitch. It's well hit to center and can't get it. Jacob Johnson laid out and missed it. It rolls all the way to the fence. Leonette chugging for third, and he'll make it. A stand-up triple for Ricardo Leonette. Well, Jacob Johnson, who already has 1 web jab in the ball game, tried to make it 2, and that time couldn't quite get the glove to the ball laying out toward home plate, and it rolled all the way to the fence. So Leonette with a triple to center field with 1 out. Here's Harold Calero. Now there's the danger in diving for that ball, especially on the turf. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. On a natural surface, that might have been just a single or a double, but on the turf, it's going to keep rolling. We're 325 down the lines, 361 in the gaps, and 370 straight away with an 18-foot high wall here at Mike Carter. 1-0 pitch over the heart of the plate. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. So the Plainsmen trying to answer the Apaches' run with a run of their own. They got a runner at third, 90 feet away with only 1 out. Calero batting in the cleanup spot. His job is to get this run in. Grounded to third. Meisner holds that runner, throws it across, and Morissette squeezes it for the second out. 5-3 if you're scoring at the house, so nicely done there by Cooper Rawls to entice the infield ground ball. Now 1 out away from getting the Apaches off the field. David Calderon struck out looking his first time up, 0 for 1. Appreciate all the check-ins. Love to hear from any of you that care to log into that live chat feature. There's a little looping pop-up just off over the fence on the first base side. Morissette gave chase and ran out of real estate. Well, I know we had a number of families that were making the trip in for the game today. Super Bowl weekend. Should be an interesting game tomorrow. Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And Leonette at third represents the tying run for the Plainsmen. Cooper Rawls comes set, the 0-2. Off the plate, Watson tried to frame that up a little bit, but it was definitely outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, you try to play big infield here and keep the shutout intact. Swing and a miss. There's the breaking pitch, and it's strikeout number 3 for Cooper Rawls, and it's out number 3 for the Plainsmen here in the 4th. So a 1-out triple by Leonette is stranded, and we'll head to the bottom of inning number 4. Your score for Mike Carter Field: Tyler Junior College 1, Frank Phillips 0. Well, let's go through some of these upcoming ball games for the Apaches as they start out with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game. Oh, more than that. 10-game homestand to start the 2019 season. So their next ball games after today will be next Friday. Arkansas Baptist, single 9-inning game at 1 p.m. on Friday the 8th. Then it's a doubleheader on Saturday the 9th. Then they'll travel to Richland on the 13th, doubleheader at noon. Then it's back to Mike Carter for a doubleheader at 4 p.m. Saturday the 16th. Then it's to Angelina on Monday the 18th, a single 9 at 5 p.m. Here back at Mike Carter, a doubleheader against Bossier on Wednesday the 20th, and then at Bossier on the 23rd, 12 o'clock doubleheader on the Saturday 23rd. So those are your games through the month of February for the Apaches. So they're starting out with a 10-game homestand, aren't on the road until Wednesday the 13th, day before Valentine's Day. Have you gotten your Valentine anything yet? You better get it going. Be here before you know it. 0-1 pitch. This is Jacob Johnson for the second time. Struck out looking in his first at bat. And it's quickly 0-2 on the Apache center fielder. 1-0 is our score. 1-1-1 for the Apaches. 0-2-0 for the visiting Frank Phillips Plainsmen. And here's that delayed delivery by Marrero. And the Apaches have had trouble when he does that. It really squaring the ball up. Not sure if it's due to that or just the pitch itself, but no balls, 2 strikes as Johnson fights that one off. The next pitch, little jam job, tough play, and you flip it over to Marrero, and Johnson is out. It's going to go 3-1 as Calero gathered that one in, and you thought that there might be a foot race to first base, and there was, but Marrero able to get there in time. So 1 up and 1 down in the 4th for the Apaches. Here's the right fielder, Fiver Trimble. He struck out his first time up. Had a good pitcher's game going on right here. Bottom of 4, 1-0 Apaches. Marrero has struck out 5 Apaches. He does not have a strikeout since the 2nd inning. Struck out the side, Trimble, Morissette, and Ballou. But he hasn't had one since. So we're in the bottom of the 4th with 1 out. 0-1 pitch. Misses high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fouled straight back. Count goes 1-2. So 14 of the first 19 games of the 2019 campaign for the Apaches are in the friendly confines of Mike Carter. They go on the road at Richland, at Angelina, and at Bossier, and that's it. Doubleheader at Richland, single game at Angelina, doubleheader at Bossier. And that hit him. Fiver took one off the front leg there, left leg. He'll jog down to first base. Take that free pass. Here's Michael Morissette, second time today. Took a 3rd strike his first time up. Well, with the limited offensive output so far, might see Coach Wren think about doing something here with Morissette at the plate. Be a hit and run variety type of thing, or he might just let Morissette go to work. Fiver with a pretty good lead over there. That breaking pitch splits the plate in half. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Boy, just missed off the plate, not by much. 1 ball, 1 strike. Apaches hold a 1-0 lead, bottom of the 4th. Marrero, not sure what that was. Kind of bluffed a throw, and then he just kind of lobbed it over there. I don't know if Fiver was kind of looking away, possibly, and trying to catch him off guard. Next pitch is outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Brian Marrero, the sophomore right-hander from Corozal, Puerto Rico. Doing a really nice job for Coach Diaz and the Plainsmen. There goes Fiver. Straight steal throw down, and boy, that was right on the button. Boy, what a throw by Ricardo Leonet. That ball was right at the bag, and Fiver, all he could do is slide into it. So, caught stealing is Fiber Trimble, and there's 2 outs. Well, I thought you might see something there. These pitchers are being very stingy with base runners, and Trimble is gunned down. The pitch, Morissette fouls it off. It's headed over toward the Rose Garden. Off to our left. Counts 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs, nobody aboard now for the Apaches. Very few base runners in this one. Boy, what a difference between yesterday and today. All kinds of base runners yesterday. Both sides. 3-2 pitch. Little chopper that goes off of Morissette, and he stays at home plate. No call. And the home plate umpire was blocked, so he didn't see it. And finally, the first base umpire came in with his hands up. He did see it. We could kind of see it and hear it from here as the ball glanced off the turf and came right back up and hit Mike. He knew it hit him, so he didn't run. But Marrero and Leonet, the pitcher and catcher, continued to play that out. Stranger things have happened. So 3-2 pitch. Lazy fly ball left field. This is Zamora. Easy catch for him, and it's the 3rd out of the inning. So we'll head to the 5th, boy. We are moving right along here. 1-0 Apaches. Six, 7, and 8 for the Plainsmen from Frank Phillips. Opening weekend for that program. We'll go through their schedule here in a moment. Popped off to the right side, 0-1. The Plainsmen, after today, will head back to Borger, Texas, and then they'll turn right around and go to Weatherford, Oklahoma for a doubleheader on Tuesday. 1 o'clock double dip, and then their home opener is on the 15th. They got 10 days off between the Tuesday game and their home opener in Borger. That's going to be a game against Dodge City, Kansas. And they'll play Dodge City in a 3-game set on the 15th and 16th. They travel to Altus, Oklahoma on the 19th. Next pitch in there for a strike. It's 2-2. against Western Oklahoma State. Then it's to Vernon on the 22nd for a single 9 against Vernon College. And they actually play a 3-game series against Vernon on the 22nd and 23rd. Little chopper foul at home plate. Home plate umpire's not calling those very quickly. And first base umpire is doing his job by throwing his hands up and letting people know. Sometimes the umpire does get blocked from those things, so can't call what you can't see. Finishing up the February schedule for the Plainsmen after the 3-game series against Vernon. Then it's on the 27th, the game in Borger. That ball's well hit to left, but plenty of room out there for Eric Owen, and there's one out. F7, and Shields is the first out of the 5th inning. Here's Tommy Toll, the second baseman, grounded out his first time up. So the final game of the month of February for the Plainsmen is in Borger against Otero Junior College, a single 9 on the 27th of February. So here's your schedule for the next few weeks for the Frank Phillips Plainsmen. Looks like they're going to be on the road a good bit, but also a handful of games at home for Frank Phillips. That breaking pitch is outside, ball 1. 1 out, nobody aboard, top of the 5th. And we're just over an hour into this thing, so not quite halfway, and this game's pace is how you like it. Pitch is catching the corner there, so it's 1 ball, 1 strike to Tommy Toll. We're at the 7th spot in the Plainsman lineup. Waited on the breaking pitch and put a good swing on it into left field. Second hit of the game for the Plainsman. You could see Toll do a nice job of separating the stride and the swing there. That foot was down, and he kept his hands back. Really put a nice swing on the breaking pitch from Cooper Rawls. So runner at first with 1 out. And I think we had, I'm not sure what we had going there. Our bullpen might have been chirping a little bit. First base umpire turned around and was kind of waving down the Apache bullpen. Rawls from the stretch, the pitch, fouled down the right side, out of play, right toward that bullpen area. And a couple of other folks check in. Rooting for Edgar from Puerto Rico. Appreciate the check in there. 0-1 pitch. Line shot down the line by Ty Meisner into the left field corner. This will be at least a double, and that's where Hernandez will stay. It's a 1-out double right down the line. Ty Meisner dove, and it went off his glove. So Tove to third, Hernandez to second, and the Plainsmen are in business here in the 5th. Second and third, only 1 out. That's going to bring a visit from pitching coach Mike Rupenthal. Heard Coach Rupenthal on the pregame dugout interview talk about some of the things he liked yesterday as the Apache pitching staff has had some real bright spots early. They have struck out 75 batters in the first 50 innings so far this season going into today's ball game. And it doesn't hurt at all when you outscore opponents 63-19 in those 6 games. So we've outscored the opponents, but we've also done a really pretty good job on the mound. There have been our moments where we've walked a few guys, but today Rawls has only walked 1. We're in the 5th inning. He's got a little bit of a pickle here. 9-hitter Preston Lanadier flew out to center his first time up. He's got a golden opportunity here for the Plainsmen. The 1-0 pitch. Catches the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Not a bad opportunity here to squeeze for Coach Diaz, but looks like he's going to let Lanadier swing away here. The pitch. Pop up, and this is an easy play for Jaron Burks at second. And there's 2 outs. That's a big out right there. You needed a fly ball deep enough to score at least 1 run or a base hit. And Lanadier can't get it out of the infield. So now you can see out there Cooper Rawls trying to pump himself up here. 1 out from getting out of trouble, keeping the shutout intact. Back to the top of the lineup, Mark Zamora. And Zamora has had a nice series for the Plainsmen. So got to be careful here. First pitch is off the plate, 1-0. Scored twice with a base hit in the nightcap. Had 2 hits in the first ball game, so he's got 3 hits in the series. The 1-0 pitch. Kind of hung a breaking ball, but it's going to go right to Johnson in center field, and the Apaches get out of trouble. Good job by Cooper Rawls to avoid further damage. He strands runners at second and third, and the Apaches continue to read this game. It's 1-0 as we head to the bottom of inning number 5. All right, let's bring you up to speed as to what some of the other Region 14 schools are doing today. Wharton and Baton Rouge, 12 o'clock ball game. Murray State, Coastal Bend will do battle in Beeville. Temple and Navarro square off. Cowley County versus Northeast Texas Community College. Galveston and Seward Community College. LSU Eunice and Paris going at it today at 1 o'clock. That's down in Eunice. Temple and Navarro doubleheader, and Murray State and Sanjack will play as well. Bossier Parish is playing Baton Rouge Community College, a battle of the Louisiana junior colleges. Then Galveston and Seward later today at 3:30. Sanjack Coastal at 6 o'clock later on this afternoon. And Wharton and Bossier in Baton Rouge. So there's a tournament in Baton Rouge this weekend with some junior colleges. There appears to be a tournament in down in Beeville. So those are your Region 14 participants in today's junior college baseball. None of those games have any scores posted as of now. We are looking at 1:07 Central Time here in Tyler, Texas. We tried to give you some information about Region 5 here. I'm going to refresh this page. They have not updated their schedule results page. We'll see if they've maybe done that overnight. And if they have, we'll give you some Region 5 scores. That's where the Plainsmen play their ball games, in Region 5. They did update the standings page. And they still have not updated their results page. So let's go back to the home page and at least maybe bring you up to speed here. Richland now 4-0, Eastfield 2-0, Northlake 1-4, Brookhaven and Mountain View still 0-3 in the Metro Athletic Conference over in Dallas. Those are the Division III schools in the Dallas area that play at the same level as the Apaches. Cisco, Ranger, Vernon, and Weatherford all 2-0 to start their season. McLennan 3-2, Temple 1-4. Next pitch is going to miss. 3 balls and no strikes to DH Jason Ballou, who struck out his first time up. In the WJCAC, that's the Western Junior College Athletic Conference. Give you the records of those teams. They have updated the records, but they don't have any scores on the website from this weekend. 3-0 pitch, a 4-pitch walk to Ballou. And here come the Apaches now. Second walk of the game for Brian Marrero. It's been very solid up to this point. It's only allowed 1 Apache hit. And that's just the 4th base runner of the ballgame. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning, just past halfway in a pitching and defense type of ballgame. Here's Cade Watson, and Watson has the only Apache hit, 1 for 1. He also has the only Apache run. First pitch swing and fouls it straight back. No balls and 1 strike. Watson singled to center was sacrificed over to second by Bryce Coveney, who stands on deck. 2 pass balls allowed Watson to score the game's only run. Brian Marrero started the inning with just 61 pitches through 4 innings of work. The 0-1. Line drive right at the third baseman, Calderon. He'll try to double off Ballou at first, but Ballou got back quickly. L5 if you're scoring at the house. Here's Bryce Coveney, who laid down a sacrifice bunt his last time up. Well, in the conference that Frank Phillips competes in, New Mexico Junior College off to a 2-2 start. El Paso Community College 2-4. Clarendon, Howard, and New Mexico Military and Odessa have not played yet. Midland 0-1, Frank Phillips 0-2, Luna Community College 0-2, and Western Texas College off to an 0-3 start. So here's your update in the Region 5 conference, or conferences, in the junior college baseball world in Texas. A lot of JUCO ball in the state of Texas. We'll run down the Region 14 starts as we have an opportunity here. Pop up right side out of play, and the count goes even on Bryce Coveney. Next pitch is just going to miss inside. And 2-1, I think. 2 balls and a strike. 1 out. The Apaches 1-1-1. The Plainsmen from Frank Phillips, no runs on 4 hits and no errors. Been a well-pitched game by both starters. Well, that was almost a balk there. You got to come to a discernible pause. Marrero thought it was a strike, covered his mouth. Well, you got to watch your body language right here. Mr. Umpire doesn't like when the pitcher shows him up. And Brian Marrero, now he's got the big grin on his face, so that sometimes can work against you as well. You don't want to mock that home plate umpire. That zone will dry up in a heartbeat. 3-1 pitch. Actually, it wasn't a 3-1. Well, was it? Yes, it was. So, 2 walks in the inning as Coveney draws the 3rd walk of the game issued by Brian Marrero. And this is a good visit by David Diaz. He could see that Marrero was frustrated at the strike zone that at bat. And Marrero kind of takes his hat off. And you know, this is a teachable moment right here. Coach Diaz is going to tell Marrero, hey, you can't show things when you don't like the calls, and that's kind of what went on that at bat. And could not get the ball back in the strike zone, so Mr. Umpire going to go out and break up the rock pile. Coach Diaz walking back to the dugout. Sometimes what you'll see from head coaches there, and I've done this before, you will wait for Mr. Umpire on that mound and kind of give him a little bit of a respectful earful on the strike zone if you don't like what's happening there. And Coach Diaz did not do that. As soon as the umpire made the pitching mound, he go ahead and walked back to the dugout. 1 out, 2 aboard now for the Apaches. First time in the game either team's had 2 runners aboard. First pitch swing and ground to third. Could be a double play. 5 and 4. And I don't know why you came off the bag at first there. Marrero, I think he thought it was inning over, was running to the dugout. He was over in front of the Plainsman dugout. Maybe he thought there were 2 outs. I don't know. He's signaling into the dugout as if to say, you know, how many outs are there? But the ground ball by Burks is a fielder's choice 5-4, so Coveney is out, but over the third goes Ballou. There's 2 outs in the inning now. And now you're going to put a first and third defense on, as Marrero was already towing the rubber. Eric Owen steps in for the third time. He struck out swinging and walked. He's 0 for 1. Opportunity here with 2 outs to extend a 1-0 Apache lead. Marrero comes set the pitch. Off the plate, ball 1. Well, I'll admit Mr. Umpire has had a pretty good zone all day. These pitches have been pretty close this inning. Got a couple of disgruntled Plainsman fans voicing their opinion. That's a breaking pitch over the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Eric Owen in the leadoff spot here in the third game of the series. He has been in the first 2 ball games in the 7 slot for Coach Wren, but the injury to Ballinger, Owen moved up to the leadoff spot. Another good breaking pitch, strike 2. Nice crowd here at Mike Carter from both sides. Sun is doing its best to get through those clouds and can't quite break through. One ball, 2 strikes. Snap throw over. And Jaron Burks stepping a dive. Marrero leaning in and getting a sign. The 1-2. Fastball misses high. 2-2. Well, the Apaches off to a 6-0 start. Coastal Bend, who is in the Region 14 Division III region with Tyler, 3-2 on their season so far. In the South Zone of Region 14, the Division I conference in the South, Alvin is off to a 5-0 start. Wharton 2-0. Sanjak 3-1. Galveston 2-1, and Blinn and Laredo have not played yet. 2-2 pitch. Ooh, just misses high. And it's a full count. In the Eastern Zone of the Division I schools, Panola 5-0 on their season. Navarro 1-0. Northeast Texas 1-1. Angelina 2-4. Paris Junior College 1-3. And Bossier having their first ball games this weekend. 3-2 pitch. Just misses inside. Marrero, again, the body language, not good. He walks halfway to the dugout. Thought he had strike 3. Pretty good pitch. Can't say that I disagree with him. But one of the things he'll learn as a pitcher is you can't show your emotions. That home plate umpire is going to do nothing but shrink the zone. The more that you think, if he thinks you're kind of showing him up out there, human nature is such that instead of that zone staying as big as it has been, it may start shrinking. Here's Ty Meisner. Two outs. Bases loaded with Apaches. Owen at first, Ballou at third, Burks at second. And Meisner with a golden opportunity with 2 outs. The 0-1 pitch. Misses inside. And Marrero, every time he doesn't get a call, he's letting everybody in the ballpark know it. And this is going to do nothing but hurt him here. And now he's walking around the mound to make sure his teammates know. And I can tell you right now, the big grin isn't going to help him either. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Breaking pitch in there, strike 2. Well, that was the delayed delivery that we haven't seen until 2 strikes, and now we saw it with a 1-1 count. So Marrero 1 pitch away from getting out of trouble of his own here. Best opportunity of the day easily for either club. 1-0 is our score. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Apaches with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Brian Marrero going to wind up. Here's the pitch. Boy, just missed inside. He's been all around the zone. And again, I don't know. He's going to need to learn that he walked halfway to home plate and smiled at the umpire again. And all he's doing is make it harder on himself to get those pitches called strikes. This will come with a little maturation on his part. Time is called now by somebody. Going to tuck his shirt in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases loaded in a 1-0 game. Apaches lead it with a solo run in the 3rd inning. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Brian Marrero out of the windup. Deep breath here, and here's the pitch. Little chopper, tough play. Hernandez on the run, throws to first, and it gets away, threw it away. And 2 runs are going to go home. Here comes the 3rd run as the first baseman, Calero, kind of lollygagged after that ball. Boy, what a turn of events there. And I got to tell you right now, your infield, when you kind of take your time between pitches, and all of a sudden now, Hernandez airmailed that ball, and Calero, for whatever reason, didn't hustle after it. 3 runs came home. Tell you what, that is a big play in the game. 1-0 was our score, and the Apaches empty the bases on an E6. Wow. A high chopper over the mound. Hernandez had the ball in plenty of time, got rid of it in time, and just sailed his throw. It went over Calero's head off the netting, and it was laying not far from Calero, and for whatever reason, he didn't hustle after it. And smartly, Owen came all the way around to score. Heads-up base coaching by Tim Hunter at 3rd. He saw what was taking place, and he waved Owen all the way around to score the 3rd run. So just like that, the Apaches now with a 4-0 lead. And a delay steal, and there you go. And boy, you can tell that right now, this Plainsman squad is out of sorts. Marrero has lost his poise on the mound a bit, and everybody's kind of in a daze after that 3-run play that could have and probably should have been the 3rd out of the inning. Well, sometimes when you take too much time between pitches, the infield kind of gets on their heels a bit. And that pitch was off the plate, but called a strike. So it's 1 ball, 1 strike. To Jacob Johnson, who's still looking for his first hit of the day. Struck out looking, grounded out to first base. So Brian Marrero trying to gather himself here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Up to this inning has pitched a really good ball game. Ball's in the dirt, almost got away from Leonette. 3 walks in the inning, loaded the bases. And then an errant throw by Hernandez cleared the bases. Took it game from being a 1-0 advantage for the Apaches to a 4-0 lead. A delay steal by Meisner. And got another runner in scoring position. 3 balls, 1 strike, and now Marrero has struggled to get ahead. He started the inning with 61 pitches. 88 pitches now. A 27-pitch inning, easily his longest of the day. 3-1 to Johnson. Little chopper to second, This is Tolve on the run. Similar play. And a bang-bang play almost beat it out. But as is, he is out at first base. And finally, the inning is over. The Apaches bring 8 batters to the plate, score 4 runs on an errant throw by Edgar Hernandez. And your new score for Mike Carter as we head to the 6th. The Apaches 4 and the Plainsmen 0. Back in a minute on ApacheAthletics.com. Welcome back to Tyler, Texas, and appreciate all the check-ins here. Rooting for David Calderon. Rooting for number 23, Alec Hernandez. Rooting for Hernandez and Harold Calero checking in from Patterson, New Jersey, once again. Appreciate all the Plainsman fans checking in. Put the guilt complex on the Apache fans. Let's hear from you. '89 pitches for Brian Marrero now, and got some activity in that Plainsman bullpen. For Cooper Rawls, he's sitting on 60. Ground ball to short. Actually, it's going to be Meisner cutting him off and making the nice play for out number 1. Looked like it was going to go deep in the hole to Coveney, but Ty Meisner cut that ball off and made a strong throw over to Morissette for the first out of the inning. So Mendez is out. And here's the catcher, Ricardo Leonette, for the 3rd time. Leonette, 1 for 2, grounded into a double play in the first. And, boy, a triple to center. Ball that Jacob Johnson tried to make the catch on. And it rolled all the way to the fence. There's a ground ball in the first pitch. And this is Burks for the 2nd out. Quickly, 2 ground ball outs for Cooper Rawls here in the 6th. And that'll bring up Harold Calero. Calero has grounded out to 3rd twice in this one. 4-0 Apaches. We're in the top of the 6th. This was a 1-0 game until the bottom half of the 5th. And, boy, one play really changed the tone. As despite all the challenges that Brian Marrero had in inning number 5, he got a ground ball with 2 outs and the bases loaded, but the errant throw allowed 3 runs in and another grounder. This is Meisner, another easy play, and it's an easy 1-2-3 inning for the Apache infielders, and a nice job by Cooper Rawls. So that's just exactly what you like after a 3-run 5th inning, a quick 6th inning for the Apaches, and they're going to be back at it. Not much rest for Brian Marrero. And we'll see if he goes back. They're gonna bring a new pitcher in. We'll let you know who the new pitcher is when we return. 4-0 Apaches. We go to the bottom of the 6th. All right, welcome back to Mike Carter Field. We're in Tyler, Texas, about a mile inside the West Loop, Rose City Complex. New pitcher for the Plainsmen, so you can close the book on starter Brian Marrero. He really did throw a good ball game. Just came unraveled a little bit in that 5th inning. Walked 3 batters and probably deserved a better fate, but he'll leave this game. He gives up 4 runs on just 1 hit through 5 complete innings of work. He ended up walking 4 Apaches. And so he leaves after throwing 89 pitches. He'll give way to Dylan Bells, a left-handed sophomore from, I think it's Saskatchewan, Canada. On the roster, it's just abbreviated SK. So if we got someone from Dylan Bell's group watching, it can let us know if that's right or not. 4-0 Apaches, bottom of inning number 6. And it'll be 4, 5, and 6. Trimble, Morissette, and Ballou scheduled to hit for the Apaches. Breaking pitch, strike 1. The sophomore left-hander, Dylan Bells, takes over here in inning number 6. For Frank Phillips, Apaches have not gone to their bullpen yet. We do have some activity down that way. Cooper Rawls has just thrown 65 through 6 innings. Had a 6-pitch inning last inning. Little chopper to short. Hernandez on the big hop. Fires it, and that one goes high. And he made a turn, and he's out. Fiver Trimble, he took a step towards second, and that ball bounced off the net right back to Calero, and he's out. So that's going to be an E6. And Coach Wren's taking a slow walk. He's going to go out and give his opinion to the first base umpire. I thought it was a good call, as he definitely took that hard right step and then tried to walk back to first as if nonchalantly he hadn't done it. And Calero smartly picked the ball up and tagged him. So it's an E6, and I don't really know how you, 3 unassisted, I don't know how the heck you score that. Because the throw went bouncing, it bounced, rebounded off the netting behind first, and it rolled right to the feet of Harold Calero at first. And because Fiver Trimble was between Calero and the first base bag, it made it an easy play for Calero to just pick that ball up at his feet and tag Trimble for the first out of the inning. So, boy, what a strange play that was. And here's Michael Morissette. I don't think that I've never seen that happen. I've been out here 26 years, and I have never seen that play take place at Mike Carter. They put a new net up this year, and that ball bounced off the netting and came rebounding back. The 0-1 pitch to Morissette. Fly ball to left field. Zamora, plenty of room, makes the catch. There's 2 outs. So an F7, and there's 2 quick outs in the inning, and here's Jason Ballou. 4-0 Tyler, bottom of 6. 2 outs, nobody aboard for the designated hitter. Jason Ballou, 0 for 1. He struck out in the 2nd, walked and scored a run in the 5th. The Apaches brought 8 batters to the plate back in that 3-run 5th inning. At that point, it was a 1-0 pitcher's duel. And pitch was called a strike. It's 0-1 on Ballou. Big left-hander. Dylan Bells has taken over. Boy, good off-speed right there. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Dave and Bev from Colorado checking in. Those are Apache fans. Miss Bouguet used to work at Tyler Junior College. Very involved in baseball here in East Texas, especially for our World Series, our committee. Remember her being a big part of that. We hosted the World Series here for 8 years. Off the plate, 2 outs, nobody aboard. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The big left-hander, Dylan Bells, delivers. Good block there by Leonette to keep the ball right at home plate, just in case Ballou would offer. But he did not. It's 2-2. 1:35 Central Time here in Tyler. Started the game at high noon. The pitch. Check swing. Thought he might have gone. And they're not going to check it. It's a full count now on Ballou with nobody aboard. Sun is really trying to get through here, these clouds. And ball 4 is issued to Jason Ballou. That's the first walk for Dylan Bells. 5th walk of the day for Plainsman pitchers. And stepping in is the catcher, Cade Watson. Up until last inning, Watson had scored the game's only run. He still has the Apaches' only hit. So kind of an odd turn of events. The Apaches lead at 4-0 on just 1 hit. They've been out-hit by the Plainsmen 4-1. But they are leading 4-0. Line drive off the netting, first base side. No balls and 1 strike to Cade Watson. Watson started the day with a .375 average, triple and 2 RBI. Off the plate, 1 ball, 1 strike. You won't often see a line score quite like this one. 1-1 pitch, a little looper to second, and Tolv squeezes it for out number 3. Little looping liner, and the inning is over. The Apaches strand 1 runner, and we will head to the 7th inning, almost 7th inning stretch time. It's 4-0 Apaches. Welcome back to Tyler, Texas. The Apaches lead at 4-0. They're shooting for a 7-0 start. And the pinch hitter is Darren Zerillo. So he'll take over for Calderon here as a pinch hitter and likely stay in at third because Zerillo has started the first 2 ball games in this series at third. First pitch misses high, ball 1. Cooper Rawls, that's pitch number 66. He's still in the game. You got a right-hander throwing in that bullpen for the Apaches. 1-0 pitch, fouled off, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. In yesterday's game in the nightcap, Zerillo was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a ground out. In the opening game, he was 0 for 1 with a walk and a sac bunt. The 1-1 pitch. Up the middle, base hit. And that's what the Plainsmen need right now. They need some base runners. So it's a single up the middle for Zerillo. He's going to try to get this thing going. Stepping in as the DH, Vaughn Shields. So Shields will step in and try to continue the rally here. I'm going to check the score sheet. That's the first time in the whole ball game that the Plainsmen have had their leadoff guy on base. They have out-hit the Apaches 5-1, but they trail 4-0. Baseball can be a funny game at times. 0-5-2 for the Plainsmen, 4-1-1 for the Apaches. The big issue with those 4 runs was the 3 walks issued by Marrero in the 5th inning. And then the errant throw by the shortstop to allow all 3 of those runs to come home with the 2 outs. Otherwise, we'd have a 1-0 score here in the 7th. Breaking pitch, misses inside. 2-0 or 3-0? One aboard with nobody out. Cooper Rawls delivers a pitch. Good swing and a foul straight back on the fastball. Can you guys see who's down that bullpen? Lyle Hibbets. Hibbets, if I remember, he's the guy that has faced 5 and struck out 5, I think. So Hibbets chomping at the bit down there. He is warmed up and ready to go if needed here. 3 balls and a strike. And even though the pitch count isn't overly elevated for starter Cooper Rawls, you get the feeling that if he ends up walking Shields, that might be it. We'll see here how far Coach Ruppenthal wants to let Cooper Rawls go. 3-1 pitch. Popped out of play, and we'll do it again at 3-2. I'll tell you what, this Frank Phillips group is an aggressive group at the plate. I don't think they've seen a fastball they didn't like all weekend. Definitely looking for those straight pitches. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, runner first, the pitch. Well hit, left field corner. If it stays fair, it's trouble, but it drifts foul. Goes in, just hops right into the bullpen for the Plainsmen. Count will remain 3 balls and 2 strikes. Boy, nice swing right there by Vaughn Shields. Just drifted foul by about 6 or 8 feet. Off the bat, it looked like it might rocket into the corner. So the next payoff pitch coming up. Here it is. Line shot. That is by Meisner at third, and that will roll into the corner. Shields is going to chug into second base with a stand-up double, and here come the Plainsmen. 2B7 if you're scoring at home. Zerillo at third, Shields at second, no one out. Here's Tommy Tolf. And you wonder how far Coach Rupp is going to go, and I think that's going to be all. He's going to take a slow walk to the mound. I think we're about to see Lyle Hibbets. He's looking, he hasn't made the motion, now he does. Kind of decoying us up here. We're going to get Lyle Hibbets, a good outing for Cooper Rawls. He gives up no runs on 6 Frank Phillips hits. And we'll let you know some numbers on Lyle Hibbets when we return. 4-0 Apaches. All right, Lyle Hibbets does toe the mound here for the Apaches. This is a big spot in the ball game, and his job here is to come in and slow this Plainsman offense. They have the first 2 runners aboard in the 7th, a single by Zerillo, double by Shields. Hibbets 6'4" and 235, right-handed sophomore from Farmersville, Texas. First pitch off the plate, ball 1. Farmersville, just north of the Metroplex in Collin County. Population 3,301. 1-0 the count, the pitch. Off, no, thought it was off the plate. Delayed call by the umpire, and it's a strike. Hibbets does not have a decision. He has appeared in 1 ball game, inning and 2/3, 5 strikeouts. That means in his first outing, he struck out all 5 guys he faced. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. That was a little cheddar right there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Popping the leather. Golden opportunity for the Frank Phillips Plainsman. And Hibbets going to try to stop the bleeding. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Check swing, thought he went, he did. Cade Watson's going to have to throw it down to Morissette and just holds on to the bag with his toe for the first out. Strikeout. So now Hibbets has faced 6 and struck out 6 in his 2 complete innings of work here for the Apaches. It's his first strikeout of the game, the 4th strikeout for Apache pitching. That'll bring up Edgar Hernandez for the 3rd time. He does have a double. Hernandez 1 for 2 in this ball game. Big, tall right-hander, outside corner, strike 1. So Hibbets off to a compelling start here. Has faced 6 batters in 2 outings and has struck all 6 out. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball, right side. Morissette's going to take it himself. A run will come home. That's the first batter to actually put it in play against Hibbets. 3U if you're scoring at the house. Zerillo comes home to score the first run of the ball game for Frank Phillips. It's now 4-1. So really you do your job there. If you're Hernandez, nice job of putting that ball in play and being productive. Here's the 9-hitter, Preston Lanadier, the right fielder, 0 for 2, popped up to center and popped up to second. First pitch, solid strike, 0-1. The Apaches with 4 runs on 1 hit. It's almost time to stretch it out here at the ballpark. 0-1 pitch. Pop up, this should do it. As Trimble, easy play in right field, and he makes the grab for the final out of the inning. But the Frank Phillips Plainsmen break through and finally do score a run. Your new score for Mike Carter, Apaches 4, Frank Phillips 1. Is there a more recognizable song than Take Me Out to the Ball Game? I don't think so. In all of sports. There goes Coach Hunter down to third base. He'll hop in his step. Like to see that. 4-1 is our score. Plainsmen have just gotten on the board. And the Apaches here in the bottom of inning number 7, 8, 9, and 1. Bryce Coveney, Jaron Burks, and Eric Owen scheduled to come to home plate. They will face the big left-hander, Dylan Bells. Bells came on in the 6th inning after a really good start by Brian Marrero. Only had the one little inning, but it was a costly one. He walked 3 and then the error. But overall, Marrero with a good outing. Ended up throwing 89 pitches in his outing. As Coveney trying to bunt his way aboard. No balls and 2 strikes. Bells threw 14 pitches in his first inning of work. Hibbets threw 8 pitches in relieving Cooper Rawls. Rawls ended up with 75 for his outing. No runs on 6 hits. He did not walk a batter, struck out 3. So a really good start for Cooper Rawls. One ball, 2 strikes to shortstop Bryce Coveney. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase that one off the plate. And that'll be the first strikeout for reliever Dylan Bells. And let's see here. It's 6 strikeouts between Marrero and Bells. Marrero had 5 strikeouts. They were all in the first 2 innings. Did not strike out an Apache after the 2nd inning. 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. 4-1 is our score. 9-hitter Jaron Burke steps in and takes ball 1. Apache's trying to go to 7-0. Plainsman trying to keep from going 0-3. Apaches will be off until Friday. Arkansas Baptist comes to town. Next pitch is going to miss. An Arkansas Baptist game is a 1 o'clock Friday start on the 8th. That's this Friday. And then a 1 o'clock doubleheader on Saturday. So another 3-game series as the Apaches open up with the first 10 games here in the friendly confines of Mike Carter Field. 3 balls and a strike. Ground ball to short. This is Hernandez. And makes a solid throw this time for out number 2. 6-3 if you're scoring at the house. And back to the top of the Apache lineup we go. Eric Owen will step in for the 4th time. Owen came into the ball game, 389 average. 2 doubles and 5 RBI for Owen coming into today's game. Does have another run scored today. He walked and scored last time up. We're in the bottom of 7 of a 4-1 ball game. Top of the lineup, first pitch. I think it missed. It's 1-0. The next one. Dropped that one right in there. I think we're 1-1. The pitch. Fastball away. 2-1. Just missed off the plate there. 3 balls and a strike. Appreciate Yanira Mole checking in, rooting for those Plainsmen. Appreciate all the shout-outs on the live chat feature of YouTube. Love to hear from you if you haven't checked in yet. Let us know who you're rooting for and where you're watching from. There's a walk with 2 outs to Eric Owen. It's his 3rd walk of the ball game. So Owen is aboard. And it's going to be the 6th walk of the game for Frank Phillips pitching, and the second walk for Dylan Bells. Ty Meisner steps in, 0 for 3. Ground ball to first, fly ball to right, and he reached on the error by Hernandez. Also has a stolen base. First pitch in there, strike one. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if you turn 0 and loose here. Check swing, thought he might have gone, doesn't matter, called a strike. And with 0-2, wouldn't be a bad time to not a bad pitch to steal second on right here. Slide step doesn't go and fouls it off. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes to Ty Meisner. Owen at first, he's got an extended lead. There he goes. Throw down to second, high, and safe. Slid under the tag. Well, you thought that might come. A 3-run advantage here is not much. Yesterday's game, we've seen both these clubs put some runs on the board. Score of game 1 was 8-7. Yesterday, game 2 was 11-4. So both these offenses very capable. And with only a 4-run lead, even in this pitching and defense type of ball game, Apache's trying to add on. Next pitch, strike 3 called, outside corner, and Meisner is down. That'll be the second strikeout for Bells and the 7th strikeout for Frank Phillips pitchers. We'll head to the 8th inning. The score, Tyler 4, Frank Phillips 1. Back in a minute on ApacheAthletics.com. Welcome back to Tyler, Texas. We're at Mike Carter Field. Game 3 of a 3-game series. The Apaches 8-7 winners in a walk-off win in Game 1 yesterday, the 7-inning ball game, and then 11-4 winners in the nightcap last night, or the second game yesterday. And they lead it 4-1 here as we head to the 8th inning. Top of the lineup for Frank Phillips, Zamora, Mendez, and Leonette scheduled to hit. Fastball that Zamora swung through. It's 0-1. Misses inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. The windup and the pitch. That gets away from Watson. Back to the screen. It's 2-1. Well, we saw 2 Plainsmen actually be the first 2 batters of the season to put the ball in play against Hibbets. Struck out the first 6 batters he faced. And next pitch is high. Now it's 3-1. So, well, you can't start much better as a relief pitcher than striking out the first 6 batters you face. Now he's 1 pitch away from his first walk of the year. Well hit to left field, and there's the first hit off of Lyle Hibbets. And for the second inning in a row, Frank Phillips has their leadoff batter aboard via the base hit. Here's Christian Mendez, the center fielder. 1 for 3. He got the very first hit of the ball game back in the first inning. Single to left field. Since then has struck out looking, grounded out to third. Well, not sure you want to be too aggressive on the bases here, but offense has been few and far between for the Plainsmen, largely due to Cooper Rawls and Lyle Hibbets, 2 Apache pitchers. First pitch missed. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Hibbets comes set, the pitch. Looping fly ball, that's going to be down into right field, and the runner will stop at second. So it's first and second, no one out. Back-to-back singles for the Plainsmen. Good piece of hitting right there by Christian Mendez. And here's the catcher, Ricardo Leonette, and he is capable. He's already taken one out of here this weekend, a 2-run homer in his first at-bat of the series. So if he catches one, we'd be tied up here. We do have right-hander tossing down in the bullpen for the Apaches. Hibbets comes set. First pitch to Leonette. Way high, ball 1. One-0 pitch in there for a strike. It's 1-1. Two runners on, nobody out. We're at the 3 spot. This is a crucial inning for Frank Phillips. I want to get back in this game. Now's the time. Got the Meteor lineup coming up. Spin throw to second. Really close. Looked like Mr. Umpire was getting ready to bang him. Thought I saw that right arm reach for the holster, but ends up going palms down. Hibbets comes set. The pitch. Missed low. 2 balls and a strike. Well, you got Leonette at the plate. Calero waits on deck. 4-1 is our score. It's been a pitching and defense kind of game. Frank Phillips has out-hit the Apaches 8-1. But they're trailing on in the run column 4-1. It's got to be a little frustrating for Coach Diaz. And boy, sometimes there was a series of events in that 5th inning, 3 walks and an error that really is the difference in the game up to this point. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Big hack right there. Leonette tried to tie it right there, fouls it straight back. Two balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out, 2 aboard. Plainsmen would love to chip away at a 4-1 Apache lead. And Ricardo Leonette, and we've noted he's got 3 RBIs in the series. one of which was a 2-run homer. Another spin throw and another close play, but Zamora slides under the Jaron Burks tag. Hibbets has his sign. Coming set. Here's the pitch. Inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Full count with nobody out. Big pitch coming up from Lyle Hibbets. If he walks Leonette, the bases will be loaded. Here's the 3-2. In the dirt, ball gets away. You better scamper over. It is ball 4, and the bases are loaded. 2 singles and a walk. And Lyle Hibbets is human. Now we're going to get a slow walk out to the mound from Coach Rupenthal. And that's going to be all for Lyle Hibbets. Well, we'll let you know who the new arm is when we return. This is a key spot in the ball game. 4-1, but the bases are loaded. Nobody out, top of the 8th. All right, the new pitcher for the Apaches is right-hand sophomore from Southlake, Texas. The University of Miami and Ohio signee. Michael Spinozzi, 6'1" and 195. For Spinozzi, this will be his 4th outing of the year. He has yet to give up a run. He has yet to give up a hit in 4 innings of work. He struck out 4, walked 1. So Spinozzi on to close the door here. Very precarious scenario. You got bases full of Plainsmen with nobody out, and their cleanup hitter up, Harold Calero. And on deck is Darren Zarillo, who singled last inning. So here you go. 4-1 is your ball game, your score. We're in the top of the 8th. And Frank Phillips trying to mount a rally here. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Spinozzi, his 4th outing of the season. Apache pitching staff came into today's game with a 2.52 ERA on the season. 75 strikeouts in 50 innings. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Calero. Very quickly, Spinozzi. No room for error here. You got bases loaded. Leonette at first, Mendez at second, Zamora at third. Nobody out in the 8th. 4-1 score. Spinozzi comes set. The pitch. Tapper to second. Burks will drop it, and everybody's safe. Well, That's going to be an E4, and that's going to open the door for the Plainsmen. 4-2, still no one out. Well, the Plainsmen had an inning like this back in the 5th inning. Here we are in the 8th, and the Apaches need to stop the bleeding. 5th batter inning, still no one out. Here's Darren Zerillo. Single to centers last time up. The pitch. In there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Well, that looked to be a double play ball, but Burks just dropped it. Didn't have to move very far to put the glove on it. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Big hack by Zerillo. Zerillo 1 for 1 in this game. Had started the 2 previous games and did not have a hit in either one of those. No balls, 2 strikes. Bases loaded, 4-2. High and away, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tying run at second, go-ahead run at first. Designated hitter Vaughn Shields waits on deck. Shields doubled to left his last time up. Ground ball to third. Meisner is going to come home with the first one. The throw to first, not in time. So almost double play there. So it's 5-2 on the putout. Zerillo will stay at first. Calero goes to second. Leonette to third. Mendez out at the plate. Now you got 1 out. Bases still full of Plainsmen. Vaughn Shields' turn. Spinozzi trying to work out of trouble here. Got the ground ball to second, but Burks could not handle it. Got the other ground ball over to Meisner at third base. 1 ball, no strikes to Vaughn Shields. Michael Spinozzi working here in the 8th. The pitch. In there for a strike. Apache's 4 runs on 1 hit, 1 error. Frank Phillips, 2 runs on 8 hits and 2 errors. Spinozzi comes set. The 1-1 pitch. Line drive into center. 1 run's going to score. Here comes the second one. The throw from center field is not in time. We're tied. 4-4. Ball gets away, and the runners advance. So it's a RBI single and an errant throw by Jacob Johnson. So another error in the inning. 2 runs come home, and we're tied at 4. So it's a single for Shields, 2 RBIs. He'll go to second on the throw. Zerillo goes to third on the errant throw. And it's 4-4. So that errant throw getting away is the second error of the inning on the Apaches. Now you got to bring your infield in to keep from falling behind here. First pitch misses inside, ball 1. The batter is Tommy Tolve. Tolve is 1 for 3. Singled back in the 5th. Struck out in the 7th. And he grounded out back in the 2nd. 1-0 pitch. Ground ball foul on the left side. And just like the Apaches in the 5th inning, the Plainsmen have taken full advantage of a couple of miscues here and tied it up. It's 4-4, top of 8. Spinozzi comes set, the pitch. Up the middle, through the hole. 1 run's going to come home. The second run will score, and it's 6-4, Plainsmen. Throw down to second, and got him. Bang, bang play at second base, and the out is made. So it's a 2 RBI single for Tolve, and he is thrown out 8-2, or 2-6 rather, excuse me. And there's 2 outs in the inning. Is that right? Yeah, 2 outs. So your new score is 6-4. 5 runs in the inning by Frank Phillips. They've come storming back here in the top of the 8th. Here's Edgar Hernandez. Pop up. This should end the inning. This is Jaron Burks camped and makes the catch for the final out of the inning. So Frank Phillips, 1, 2, 3, 4 hits in the inning. They score 5 runs on 4 hits and nobody left on. Your new score for Mike Carter, Frank Phillips 6 and the Apaches 4. Welcome back to Tyler, Texas. Dr. John Groth with you. Excuse me. Butchered my own name there. 6-4 is the new score as Frank Phillips, a 5-run 8th inning, has staked them to a 2-run advantage. The meat of the Apache lineup coming to the plate. Johnson, Trimble, and Morris at 3, 4, and 5. The big left-hander, Dylan Bells, continues on the mound. Sophomore from Saskatchewan, Canada. So Johnson steps in this ballgame 0 for 3. He came into the game batting .474, 9 out of 19, 6 runs scored, 5 doubles, and 4 RBI for the Apache center fielder coming into the ballgame. The 1-1 pitch. Good breaking pitch. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Johnson kind of buckled on that. Big left-handed sophomore, Dylan Bells, now in line for the win. Swing and a miss. Johnson goes down on strikes. And the momentum has definitely swung in favor of Frank Phillips. 3rd strikeout for the big left-hander, 8th strikeout for Plainsman pitchers. Here's Fiver Trimble. Fiver 0 for 3, struck out in the 2nd, got hit by 0 for 2, got hit by a pitch in the 4th and reached on an error in the 6th. Breaking pitch, catches the corner, back door, 0-1. The Apaches, who were leading for 3 innings, now find themselves trailing by 2. Some clutch hitting by Frank Phillips, 6 and 7 spots. Shields and Tove with back-to-back 2 RBI singles. 0-2 pitch off the plate, 1-2. Go back and relive that inning. Frank Phillips brought 8 batters to the inning, to the plate, and only 1 walk, but that error at second was the key play in the inning. Jaron Burks misplayed a ground ball that could have been a double play ball, and that opened up the floodgates for 5 runs. Off the plate, and it's 3-2. The Apaches now find themselves needing some base runners. Fiver has worked the count to full. Here's the pitch. Look out in the dugout. Boy, that's right. Again, these dugouts and on-deck areas right close, very close to home plate. And ball goes off the net. Nobody hurt down there. That's good news. So we'll have another 3-2 pitch. Fouled off to the right side as Trimble battles the big left-hander Dylan Bells. 1 out, nobody aboard. Bottom of inning number 8. Apache's trailing this one late. They did come back in game 1 yesterday and won that battle 8-7 in walk-off fashion. That ball goes off the batting cage and back onto the playing field. Count will remain 3 balls and 2 strikes. Fiver has fouled off 3 consecutive pitches as he tries to get on base for the Apaches. Trimble, 273 coming into the ball game, 6 out of 22. Fouled back, and he'll see another pitch. Trimble with 3 homers coming into today's ball game and 10 RBIs. The next 3-2 pitch on its way. Breaking pitch, and he just fouls it off the net. So you got a good battle going on here between 2 sophomores. Dylan Bell's on the mound, sophomore left-hander from Saskatchewan, Canada. And Fiver Trimble. Here's the next payoff pitch. Another foul ball. 11 pitches in this at-bat so far. Well, you got a right-hander tossing, actually a right-hander and a left-hander. 3 guys throwing down that bullpen area for the Plainsmen. So Dylan Bells started the inning with 33 pitches. The pitch. Base hit. What an at-bat by Fiver Trimble. A 12-pitch at-bat, and he finally does find the outfield. And his first hit of the ball game. So now Mike Morissette represents the tying run at the plate. Morissette 0 for 3. Struck out looking, a couple of fly balls to left field. Well, Morissette came into the ball game hitting .250, 4 for 16, 6 runs scored, 1 double, 5 RBI. So really slow start to the year for Mike, but boy, an opportunity here. Foul ball on that fastball, and it's 0-1. Well, you got 2 dangerous hitters, both of which could tie the game with 1 swing of the bat in Morissette and in the on-deck circle, Jason Ballou. Morissette, the 5-hitter, Ballou, the 6-hitter. 0-1 pitch. Chopper to second, could be 2, and boy, it's almost obstruction there. Well, Fiver can't distract that fielder in any way, but Morissette's out on the ground ball to Tolve. 4-3 if you're scoring at the house. Trimble goes to second. And if nothing else, you'd love to see Ballou drive in this run. Wouldn't hurt if he took one out of here and tied it up. And that's going to bring a visit from David Diaz. We might see a pitching change here. We've had a right-hander getting loose down there, and got a feeling this might be all for Mr. Bells. I've not seen the motion to the bullpen yet. And David Diaz is going to go out and talk to the big left-hander. At some point, Mr. Umpire at home plate is going to go out and break up the rock pile. Right now, they're having a little bit of a heart-to-heart. Coach Diaz wants to see what's inside Bells and probably asked him if he wanted to stay in. How you feeling? Get this guy out? I don't know. I might like to see the right-on-right matchup myself, but Ballou has faced Bells. Dylan Bells walked Actually, he's faced him twice and has walked him twice. So we'll see how this works out here. 2 outs. Runner at second, Jason Ballou at the plate. He's got 2 homers on the young season. In there on a backdoor breaking pitch. It's 0-1. Ballou on the year, 429 average, 9 for 21, 8 runs scored, 3 doubles and 2 homers, 9 RBI, just behind Fiver. Very productive early part of the year for Jason Ballou, the 0-1. 2 breaking balls in a row. Ballou wanted nothing to do with either one of them. Going to have to swing at something here. And if I'm Dylan Bells, I'm going to live with that breaking pitch away, maybe 2 more times. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Ball gets away. See if they get him at first. The throw down, and they got him. Great job right there by Dylan Bells and by catcher Ricardo Leonette. And the inning is over. A big strikeout of Jason Ballou ends the threat. We'll go to the 9th. The score here at Mike Carter. Frank Phillips looking for their first win of the year. They lead it 6-4. All right, we head to the 9th inning. TJC has a new pitcher. It's the right-handed sophomore from Van, Texas, Sean Beasley, SFA transfer. His job is to keep things right where they're at. And he will face 9-1-2 in the Frank Phillips lineup.
Number 1, right fielder, Preston Lanadier.
9-1-2 for the Plainsman. Preston Lanadier will lead it off. He's 0 for 3. Check swing, thought he went. Yes, he did. Strike 1 on Lanadier. He has flown out to center field, popped up to second base, and flown out to right. So it's Beasley now taking over on the mound for the Apaches. Sophomore out of Van. Give you some numbers on Mr. Beasley. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Sean Beasley, this is his second appearance. He's 0-0 with a 9.00 ERA, 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, 1 run, 2 strikeouts, and 1 walk. So Beasley with his second outing of the season. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on and nobody out. Top of 9 in a 6-4 ball game. A 5-run 8 has given Frank Phillips the lead. Swing and a miss, struck him out. First strikeout for Beasley. And 5th strikeout of the game for Apache pitchers. Leadoff hitter Mark Zamora for the 5th time today. Single back in the 8th inning to lead things off. Got that 5-run inning going. 1 for 5 today. Fly ball left field. And this is Owen retreating a couple of steps in front of the warning track. And there's quickly 2 outs. 6-10-2 for the Plainsmen from Frank Phillips. 4-2-2 for the Tyler Apaches. Well, here's Christian Mendez. 2 outs in the 9th. First pitch is off the plate. The Apaches were trailing. We're actually in a tie ball game going to the 7th yesterday, and were able to walk off the Plainsmen. They're going to have to do something similar today. Line shot, and Meisner can't handle it. That's going to be a single. Ty Meisner dove and got a glove on it, but I'm going to call it a single. That was a line shot off the bat of Christian Mendez, and that's going to bring up Ricardo Leonette.
Number 23, first baseman, Harold Calero.
You know, this is Leonette at the plate. So Leonette 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. And he's capable of providing some little cushion here. He has hit a home run here this weekend. First at bat of the weekend was a 2-run shot to left field. First pitch, there's that big swing and fouls it straight back, 0-1. Two outs, 1 aboard, a 6-4 lead for Frank Phillips. Apache's had this game. And there goes the runner, throw down by Watson, and he's safe. Ball sailed to the right side of the bag. So now it's the Plainsmen being the aggressor. Stolen base for Mendez with 2 outs. Trying to add on to a 6-4 advantage. 1 run in the 7th. 5 in the 8th. Time is called now. I don't know what... I think there was a question on the count. Coach Diaz at first base, coaching first base, asked the home plate umpire to make sure we had the correct count on the scoreboard. 0-2 with 2 outs. Mendez at second. Leonette at the plate. The pitch from Beasley. Fastball sails high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 6'2", 165, the lanky right-hander from Van, Texas. Second outing of the year for Mr. Beasley. 1-2 pitch coming up. Here it is. Chopper foul over toward the Plainsman dugout. Plainsman will have a pretty good trip after this one. 475 from Tyler, 7.5 hours. Have a couple days to regroup before they head to Oklahoma for their next ball game on Tuesday. I guess about a day to recover. A couple of days, I guess, Sunday, Monday. Swing and a miss. He got him. Well, Beasley does his job in holding serve here. 6th strikeout for Apache pitchers, the 2nd strikeout of the inning for Sean Beasley. And the Apaches need 2 to tie and 3 to walk them off. See if some more Mike Carter magic is in order here. It's 6-4 Frank Phillips looking for their first win of the season. Back in just a minute. All right, here you go. Looking for some Mike Carter magic if you're an Apache fan. If you're a Plainsman fan, you're hoping that the big left-hander Dylan Bells can hold serve for the Frank Phillips squad and get their first win of the year. 0-2 after the doubleheader sweep by the Apaches yesterday, 8-7, 11-4. Our score here, 6-4, Frank Phillips as we go to the bottom of the ninth. First pitch off the plate. This is Cade Watson. Watson 1 for 3. For a long part of this ball game, had the only run scored. He singled and scored back in the third inning. 1-0 pitch is fouled off to the right side. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. It looks like we got a pinch hitter for Coveney in the on-deck circle. Heath Hood. Heath Hood is going to be the pinch hitter for Coveney. Watson battling here with a 1-2 count. The pitch. Ground ball to the shortstop. This is Hernandez. Backhands, throws across. Got him. Boy, Calero held on to the ball and somehow kept his foot on the bag. First out of the inning. That's a big out. 6-3 if you're scoring at the house. As Hernandez, early in this game, has had a couple of errors, but for that one, huge play. There's nothing like getting the leadoff guy aboard when you're trailing in the ninth, and that first out is always a big one. Here's a pinch hitter, Heath Hood. Hood still looking for his first hit as an Apache. Just one other at bat. Breaking pitch misses low, ball 1. And we have another hitter. Looks like we got Miguel Vega waiting on deck. Next pitch, going to miss inside. Well, you need a base runner if you're going to tie this game, unless you have a bunch of home runs. 2-0 to Hood, the pitch. In there for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. We're in the bottom of the ninth. Frank Phillips leads this game 6-4. A 5-run eighth has put them in the lead. Fouled straight back by Hood, and now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Boy, it'd make that 7.5-hour bus trip a lot shorter if Frank Phillips could hold on to get this win. Apache's trying to sweep the series if they come back here in the ninth. Hood waits on the breaking pitch and fouls it off, staying alive. 6 runs on 11 hits, 2 errors for Frank Phillips. 4 runs, 2 hits, and 2 errors for the Apaches. Not a lot of offense in this one for the Apaches. Marrero and Bells have done a really nice job. Only 2 hits through 8 innings, struck him out. And let's see here, strikeout number 9. That's 9 strikeouts between Marrero and Bells. And the last hope is going to be Miguel Vega. Vega steps in with 2 outs, bottom of the ninth in a 6-4 game. We need base runners, so he's got to get on base. First pitch in there, strike 1. Apache's 6-0 record on the line here. Frank Phillips have started 0-2. They're trying to get their first win, and this should do it. Fly ball right field, and he'll squeeze it, and there's your ball game. F9 if you're scoring at the house, and it's win number 1 for the Frank Phillips Plainsmen on the season. What a comeback, and nice job. What a job by the pitchers for Frank Phillips. Brian Marrero with a really good start, and between he and Dylan Bells, 4 runs on just 2 hits over 9 complete innings. So that'll wrap things up for the 3-game series. Your final line score, 6 runs on 11 hits for Frank Phillips, 2 errors for the Plainsmen. The Apaches 4 runs on just 2 hits, and they also commit 2 errors as Frank Phillips comes back in this one to salvage 1 out of 3 here on the 3-game set. And I tell you what, if you ask Coach Diaz which of the 3 games he would take if you got 1 out of 3, it would be that last one. Been on those bus trips, and the teams will shake hands out at the field. They will not play each other the rest of this season. Frank Phillips is a Division I program, and they compete in that WJCAC, and they'll up their record to 1-2 on the year. The Apaches will drop to 6-1 on the season. Your winning pitcher is going to be Dylan Bells. Dylan Bells, what a job he did. He came on in the 6th inning, pitched the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th, and ends up throwing 68 pitches in what a great relief effort for him. 89 pitches for the starter, Brian Marrero. He threw a great game as well. So a 6-4 victory for Frank Phillips, and we wish them well as they get on the bus here in a few minutes and make that long trip back to Borger, Texas. Again, their next games will be Tuesday in Oklahoma. For the Apaches, they'll have a few days to sit on this one, and they'll have a 3-game series. We'll return back to Mike Carter Field. We'll broadcast all 3 games, weather permitting. Friday the 8th at 1 o'clock, a single game against Arkansas Baptist, and then Saturday a doubleheader at 1 o'clock against that same Arkansas Baptist club. And offensively, really not a lot of offense in this one. There's a lot of pitching and defense, to be honest with you, as neither team really mustered up a huge innings, but both innings were marred. The big innings for both teams had 1 big inning. The Apaches scored a single run in the 3rd inning as Cade Watson led the inning off with a single up the middle, and he was sacrificed over to second by Bryce Coveney. A couple of pass balls created the only run of the ball game for quite a while until the 5th, when the Apaches were able to put 3 runs on the board in a very strange circumstance. 3 walks and then an errant throw with 2 outs in the inning by shortstop Edgar Hernandez. And it was 4-0 Apaches. Frank Phillips mustered 1 run in the 7th inning on a couple of hits, a single by Calderon. Actually, it was Zerillo that singled to center, and a double by Shields. That was the run in that inning. So it was 4-1 as we went to the 8th inning. But that's when Frank Phillips was able to put together not only some hits, but took full advantage of 2 Apache errors. The inning started with a single by Zamora and a single by Mendez, a walk to Leonette, and that was the end of things for Lyle Hibbets. On came Michael Spinozzi, and what he thought was going to be a double play ball, but the second baseman, Jaron Burks, couldn't make the play, and that really opened things up. The next batter hit a ground ball to third, and there was an out at home plate. But then a 2-run single by Shields and a 2-run single by Tolve. And Frank Phillips put a 5 crooked number on the board, taking the lead 6-4. And that was all the scoring that they would need as they finish up with 6 runs on 11 hits, 2 errors. The Apaches 4 runs, 2 hits. They also commit 2 errors. The winning pitcher is Dylan Bells. He'll go to 1-0 on the season. And let's see here. The losing pitcher, I believe, is going to be Michael Spinozzi, and his record will drop to 0-1 on the year. For the teams, Frank Phillips will go to 1 win and 2 losses on the season. The Apaches had a 6-game winning streak snapped here in this loss. They'll drop to 6-1 on the campaign. Well, we started at 3 o'clock. This game lasted 2 hours and 40 minutes. It really was a pretty quick game for the most part, as we finished up just a few minutes ago here at Mike Carter Field. A beautiful day as the clouds starting to break up now as this game ends. So that'll do it for the 3-game set. The Apaches take game 1 8-7. They win game 2 yesterday in the doubleheader, 11-4. But Frank Phillips comes back in a strong way, taking this third game of the series 6-4. Our well wishes to the Plainsman fans that have been watching all weekend. We appreciate the shout-outs on the Live 2 Live chat. Best wishes for a great 2019 season to the Plainsmen. And second-year head coach David Diaz. Safe travels to them as they get on the bus and head back to Borger, Texas. Also, a big shout-out to the Apache fans who gave us some love on the live chat feature. As we'll be back on the air Friday, weather permitting, February 8th. And it'll be a single 9-inning game against Arkansas Baptist right here at Mike Carter Field. We'll be on the air at 12:45. Until then, a big shout-out and a thank you for the whole athletic department at Tyler Junior College. Athletic Director Chuck Smith, Kelsey Weeks, Sherry Harwood, the whole gang back at WAG Gym. This is Dr. John Groth signing off from Mike Carter Field. Frank Phillips comes back and wins the final game 6-4. So long, everybody.